from, and now they're no longer here, but they were wonderful. They gave grants to actors in midlife, and I was nominated by a playwright friend of mine, and it was called the Spencer Cherisher Fund, named after a vibrant and sort of light who worked for a corporation, but he was an actor, and he died suddenly in his late 40s. And his mother, people loved him so much, they made a fund for actors in midlife. And I got nominated, and I got this grant to research Mother Jones, because somebody had asked me to do a musical, which was dreadful, about her. But it attuned me to, like, wait a minute, I've got to find out about this woman. And then, I talked to my late husband, who came to writing late, but, he had a published play. He was really talented, and he said, okay. And I said, look, it's a commission, because I got this grant, and we can travel to Ireland and go to Cork, where she was born, and in Shigila, her mother's people. And
she wrote an autobiography herself, of herself.
Well, that Mary Field Parton was the editor, and she is a significant character in the play.
Oh, that's
cool.
And
there's also 2 other male actors playing a number of characters. And it's so there's 2 women and 2 men. And I talk a lot. I am working with a wonderful director, Abigail Sealy Best, who has directed, she's got a film out now called Icarus Comes for Breakfast. It's in a lot of festivals, but she's my director. I love working with her. So she's, going to help film this video. But
that'll be great.
Anyway,
I guess we were going to say, what's it like being I want to know what's it like to be the steam behind the stage, because there's always steam behind the stage and not just the heat on the stage, so to speak.
I'm just very glad I'm taking some coaching, because I have to, it scares me to be a producer, but I need to sort of shift my, open to it, I always enjoyed just being a working actor, sometimes going off, sometimes doing things in New York, people, and now, and it's summoning another part of me, and it's another becoming that I'm working with. I have some teachers that are helping me, and I'm needing to find strengths in myself and actual potentials that I'm being told are there in all of us.
Yeah, we just have to dig them up, I guess.
We have to
summon them up.
Notice the limiting beliefs and work to acknowledge the limiting beliefs, but not to let them, direct our decisions.
Right.
And right now I'm reading one of the wisdom books from the class called The Power of Decision, and I'm rereading Jane Austen, In Search of the Beloved, and I'm getting it more than I didn't get it when I tried reading it the last time.
It takes what it takes. It takes as many times.
And you're at where you're at, right?
Exactly.
And so, anyway, but it's a very interesting becoming. And some people, I know some amazing women who jump right into it, and I'm just going, find the ways in. And actually, this is an empowering moment just talking to you and being able to talk about her. My husband really got at the crux in a very subtle, but in really powerful moments in the play, of the grief that drove her to be fearless.
Yeah, she lost her entire family.
Her 4 children and her husband.
And she wore black for the rest of her life.
Yes, and aged, let it be, she aged herself up 7 years. I mean, she denied it, and that's fine. And there's a great speech in there about why it's perfectly all right, and why should you be asking that of a person after 90, So there's great stuff that my husband wrote, and he took things from the autobiography, but he also took it from other places, because her autobiography is unbearably boring, because she didn't want to really, she wanted to do it in this way where basically she concentrates on the labor movement.
Well, that's her big, that was her big thing.
But she needed somebody else to write it.
Right.
And I don't know, but my husband...
Well, your husband wrote some of it now, so he can carry her story forward.
He found the relationship between the 2 women where he found a place that's totally so reasonable of a conflict between a woman who was, because she was, yes, she was the mistress of Clarence Darrow, but she was a journalist, a successful journalist in her own right. And she agreed to edit. And Keith came up with a story where Mary Parton wants her to go deeper.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's conflict. So he found and he found the conflict of this other. Anyway, this is also my husband's legacy, and he's gone beyond,
Right. So what's that like for you to kind of take the baton and move it forward, so to speak?
I think it's part of the weight on me. I feel. I'll be honest. Monday was our wedding anniversary, and I don't need to count the years, but it was a lot of years. It was maybe 24, 25 years, but that was good number of years, but it wasn't enough. And yet he was very ill during, especially the last 4 years, and he was a very gifted writer. So now reincarnation makes sense to me, and I like to think of him very joyously successful, but also.
But he's probably collaborating with you a little bit right now.
Yeah, and I there's all these things, and there's all these things that I see that I'm just having to let go and go with the flows. And every time I find myself shifting a little bit, I see the shift in me. But to be an actor is a great gift, and coming back to the joy of the work and sort of landing on that. I mean, there's lots of places for me to go, and just talking to you, this is the thing. Talking to you about it makes me feel